I am Devraj Chattaraj. I am a part of the Tata Business Excellence Group, which is a division of Tata Sons Private Limited. I have been associated with the ASQ's SATEA since the inception. This is the 10th year, 7th edition. And for me, I think it's an incredible experience being the jury member for the last 7th edition. So I'm looking forward to learn from each of the projects, and most importantly, it gives me an opportunity to network with the like-minded, the quality professionals and excellence professionals across India.
So Devraj sir, as a member of jury of the South Asia Team Excellence Award, I'd like to ask your thoughts. What helps you judge whether the methodology chosen by a team is appropriate for the problem or opportunity?
So as a jury member, when I look at this particular section of the project identification and methodology, what I look at is that how these the improvement projects is linked to the business objectives and the business strategy, because that is where the proof of the pudding lies. Because any project should solve any the objectives of the business, being the financial the savings, or it could be even improving the customer satisfaction or employee satisfactions, or improving the operational efficiency, or even it could lead to some environmental and social impact. So what is that the methodology that the company is having, the organization is having, and then how the team has linked their improvement project to that particular business objectives. That is the first thing that we look at as a jury member. And then we get into the project charter by saying that okay, what is that the scope of the project, what is the goal, what is the objective, how it has been quantified in terms of the gain from each of these projects. And then we get into the what are the kind of skills that are required for the team to execute this project. So how they have identified the team members, how they have developed the capability within the team members who are going to execute that project. And then we get into the tools and methodologies, that okay, for that particular project, what is the methodology they have used. So there could be various methodologies. It may not be always that you have to use DMAC. It could be even 7QC QC story approach, or it could be 8D approach. It could be any other approach depending on the context of the project, also depending on the industry that you are representing in. So we look at what is the methodology that they've used and what is the justification for using the methodology, and finally that we look at what kind of quality tools they have used in terms of executing that particular project.
Right. And sir, how do you assess whether the team has clearly linked the methodology phases to actual project execution and tool usage?
Right. So if you look at the in the entire criteria of the SATEA, the criteria is well linked from the various sections. Whether the section 1, which talks about the project methodology and how does it link to the business objectives, actually flows down to the section 3, which talks about the the how have you actually approached this particular project in terms of using that methodology, and why you have picked up a particular tool, how this tool has been used, what kind of data that you have collected, and then based on that how you have identified the probable causes and the potential causes, and then how actually these causes have been validated by capturing the data from the sources, be it Gemba or be it your process observations, and finally how this data has been used to identify the various solutions, and how the solutions have been validated by doing some kind of a proto, and then once the validated solutions have been implemented, how actually have helped you in getting those results that you have mentioned in the project charter. So the what we look at is the linkages between the various sections when we evaluate the project as a jury member.
So in your experience of the projects that you have evaluated so far, do you think the 4 sections that were mentioned in the evaluation criteria, project context, approach and planning, section 1, team dynamics, section 2, project execution, section 3, and the results, section 4, are teams providing those linkages?
Yes. So the projects that I have evaluated in the past, we see the teams who are actually following this criteria to identify any project and then finally execute the project, they have been able to kind of show or demonstrate the clear linkages between the sections. But in case, let's say, you have done already a past project and you are trying to fit into the criteria, then we see that there is a kind of a gap. So I would request the teams who are going to come in the future SATEA that you start using the criteria as a base for identifying the projects, use that criteria to execute the project, and then you come back and share those success stories in the SATEA 2026. Then it will be useful for you to drive the improvement projects in a more systematic way rather than fitting it as a post fact thing.
Right, this is very helpful to get the jury perspective. Thank you very much for speaking with us.
Thank you.